Well, Alice is here alongside the head of fire investigation at London Fire Brigade, Charlie Pugsley. So, Alice, there is big news. What is it? What's the U-turn?
What happened yesterday was Trading Standards in Peterborough, which is the home authority for Hotpoint, the company who manufactured these machines, issued Whirlpool with an enforcement notice. They said they had to change their current consumer advice, which, as you know, has always been that these machines are safe to use until they've had the modification done. They have now said you have to inform consumers that these machines are not safe to use. They have to be unplugged until they have been modified, which is a huge U-turn. We have always maintained, the Fire Brigade have always maintained, that if there is any risk of a potential fire from a domestic appliance, we should not be telling consumers they're safe to use.
Well, Charlie, this must be a huge relief for you at the London Fire Brigade, because last we saw you on August 30th. This was following the Shepherd's Bush fire, and you took the unprecedented step of warning anyone with an affected model to absolutely stop using their machine immediately. So this was kind of out of step with their advice. A huge relief this morning.
It is. London Fire Brigade, and even nationally through the Chief Fire Officers Association, we're all really pleased because, as you've reported on a whole range of incidents, the fire at Shepherd's Bush really made it clear that we had to start campaigning publicly because for us we thought the next time, as Alice referred to, could be a fatal fire. And we just had to give that right advice. That's a horrifying thing for crews to arrive at, isn't it? A fire, a major fire in a high-rise. It is, and I actually went to that incident and I had a bit of a long distance to travel, but even after most of the firefighting had been done, when you see the smoke plume from miles away, you see the fact it's spread up multiple floors, and then when you speak to the residents and the people who have been displaced, and again...
18 families, I think. Is it 18 families overall that have been
Five this morning are still not in their homes.
Yeah.
So where does this leave the consumer then? All those people that have these machines?
Right, well, first of all, you have to unplug the machine. But let's just get the scale of it. How many machines are still out there? Well, we know that there were 5.3 million machines made between that period, April 2004, September 2015. Any other machine we're not talking about. Please don't inundate their helplines because they've got enough of a problem with these specific machines. So there were 5.3 million made. At the time of the safety notice, there were 3.5 million machines still out there in use. They've got 1.5 million registered for the modification, and they've solved 1.3 million of them. So really, there are still 2 million. However way you do the maths, there's still 2 million machines
2 million potential fires
in people's homes right now. So those 2 million people need to be made aware, hopefully with programmes like ours and with Whirlpool putting out massive adverts in the press, that they must unplug those machines.
Having been forced to take those ads out?
Yes, absolutely.
You said that in all your time in this business, you've never seen a company drag its heels as much in regard to the safety of their customers as this one.
No, but what has been confusing, Philip, has been that Trading Standards, who are sort of the conduit between the consumer and the big companies, have always maintained that what Whirlpool are doing is OK, that the modification programme was acceptable. And this just didn't seem right. With a potential risk of fire, why were they letting consumers still use these machines?
So what about those victims of fire incidents? Can they now do they have a claim against Whirlpool?
Yes, well, I know one lawyer, Lee Day, who we've spoken to on many occasions. They have 60 cases of people who've had fires who are pursuing a claim against Whirlpool. It's going to be a long process. Can you claim compensation for the fact that you can't use your dryer? Well, first of all, get on the phone to Whirlpool and get a date for a modification and find out how long you're going to be without a tumble dryer. Do you want to start putting in receipts for using service washes? Possibly. You could, but I would, personally, if I had one of these dryers and it wasn't modified, I would want to be getting a replacement. I would unplug it, I would enforce a Section 75, which was part of the Consumer Credit Act. If I paid for it with my Barclays card or any credit card or even a debit card in some cases, I would be contacting that financial institution and say, you are jointly liable for the sale of this faulty good to me and I want a refund. That's what I would be doing.
Now, Charlie, you guys attend one fire a day involving white goods.
That's correct.
So, should we be unplugging everything?
No, I mean, I think first of all, we're very much supportive of business and the challenges that such a programme as this has got to deal with, and Whirlpool, the problem they've got. But ultimately, our advice is, if you're getting strange noises, smells, it's just about your personal safety.
So with just to clarify though, if you have got the modification and it's done, that machine is now safe? We can trust it, can we?
Whirlpool say they have every confidence in the modification that has been done. Personally, I am slightly concerned, and from cases that I have seen, that this modification programme has been fast and furious. They have had to increase their workload of engineers by 50%. They have been sending engineers out and training them up very fast. We know of cases where the modification has not been done correctly, so the machine is not safe. Whirlpool say if you've had the modification done, your machine is safe. I think watch this space for future cases.
Are they relying on people giving up and buying something else?
Well, I think this has cost them an awful lot of money. I mean, in their annual report, it said that this cost them $160 million so far and projected another $70 million this year. So, yes, they probably are relying on people saying, oh, for goodness sake, let's just get this out of our house and buy a new one. There are many people who can't do that. It's just not financially viable. So they are relying on the British public giving up to a certain extent. Don't.